I'm wearing this t-shirt today, and that is because I'm finally getting around to filming my Miss Marvel review. I really wanted to give this its own review because I enjoyed it that much, and even though I haven't read the rest of the series, I'm pretty sure I'm going to love that as well, and I just wanted to spread the love, even though I'm about 10 years late on getting on this bandwagon. Miss Marvel is about a teenage girl called Kamala Khan who lives in New Jersey with her parents and her brother. She's kind of obsessed with superheroes, and especially her idol Captain Marvel, aka Carol Danvers. She daydreams about meeting the Avengers and she writes fan fiction about them. Little does she know that one day she will become one of them. Like every other teenager, she's trying to find her own identity and who she is, and I think that's what makes her character so relatable to so many people. So Kamala is struggling to keep respecting her family's Pakistani culture and heritage and Islamic religion, while also navigating American high school, which obviously follows a much more Western tradition. She's trying to fit in while also staying true to herself. Her parents really want the best for her, but this can make them a little bit too overprotective sometimes, as many parents do end up. They don't really understand being a teenager in the middle of two cultures and trying to reconcile them both. So that causes a lot of conflict, and this is all before she becomes a superhero and has to keep it a secret from her family as well. One of the things that I really like about this book is that we get to see Kamala's story from the beginning. With all of the other comics that I've read so far, they've been pre-established characters, and when I'm reading them, I can enjoy them and I can follow the story, but I always feel like there are references in there to things that have happened in the past, and I feel like there are threads running through where you could unravel it and end up in some obscure issue from the 1950s. That can make it quite intimidating to read comics because there's so much canon that sometimes it gets a little bit overwhelming, but with Miss Marvel, I'm here for the start of it, and it also makes it a good one to go for if you are new to comics and want to get into them. Now, some people have said that Kamala's origin story is a little bit stereotypical, and I do agree with that, but I also think it doesn't really matter how a superhero gets their powers. It's more, for me, about what that power can explore in the themes and what it means for the character. So for example, Steve Rogers was always really weak, but he had all of these morals that he couldn't act on because his body was so weak, and then he became really strong so he could start acting on those values. For me, Kamala's power really highlights that idea of finding your own identity. Because she has sort of a shapeshifty kind of power, that to me really comments on trying to find who you are and being comfortable in your own skin. So when she first becomes a superhero, she becomes her idol. She becomes like Carol Danvers 2.0. She's tall, she's blonde, she's white, she's got blue eyes, you get the picture. This isn't who she is at all, but it's almost a gut reaction that this is what a hero looks like to her, and so she follows suit kind of thing. And it's a really uncomfortable moment for her and also for the reader because it's just not her at all, and throughout the rest of the book you really get the feeling that she's realising that this isn't who she is and it's okay to not be that person. And so that really starts to explore the idea of representation in the media and misrepresentation and lack of representation. I'm going to leave a link to a video by Marina's over at My Name is Marina's because I think she did a really great video on this topic. And I'm also going to leave a podcast as well because they discuss this whole idea of her powers being able to comment on this, and it's such an intelligent discussion. I just really want to share it. I highly recommend you check it out, but also be warned that they do start to talk about later issues than this, so it goes into spoiler territory, but I mean, I listen to it and I hate being spoiled for things, but I got a lot out of that discussion. Now, my favourite thing about Kamala is that she is just a genuinely good person. She's a little bit goofy and a bit geeky, but she's the kind of person that goes out of her way to help other people. It's almost like her powers just gave her the confidence to help people, sort of gave her that boost, but it was always in her to be that good. And what I really loved about that moment when she first debates on whether to step in and use her powers to save someone is that she remembers a saying from the Quran that her dad always says whenever he sees anything bad going on TV, and that's what pushes her to step in and save them. This is just such a simple thing, but I think it's a really important part of this comic. More likely than not these days, Islam and people from the Middle East are portrayed as the villains. And that's scary because it dehumanises a group of people and it takes away the positive and the good side of it. So I think to see such a positive portrayal means so much to so many people. I'm going to leave a link to a video by Hana from Storynut who discusses this topic, so I suggest you go and check that one out as well. So on the surface, Miss Marvel is a really fun comic. I think it's perfect for a slightly younger audience, but I also think that it appeals to any age because, like I said at the start of the video, she's going through a lot of things that a lot of people can relate to. Everyone's been a teenager, everyone's struggled to find who they are and be comfortable in their own skin. So I think this story is pretty universal, and if the fact that she is now on the main Avengers team is anything to go by, I'm pretty correct in thinking that. It's enjoyable and entertaining while also being incredibly important, and when you start digging a little bit deeper under the surface, there's so much meaning that you can get out of it. In case you hadn't guessed, I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. I will definitely be continuing on with the series, and I'll be reading the run of Avengers where Kamala is part of the team. So thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye! When she's debating with herself on whether to